Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I had some audio issues. I know everyone's really surprised there. Here, I'll throw some claps in for you guys, just for the good, for old time's sakes. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Break the Cycle with me, your host, Joshua Smith. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Friday, and I appreciate you spending the start of your weekend with me, although it is the start. It is my Monday at work. I'm working all through the weekend. And, of course, the shows take a break on the weekend, so it gives me my evening with my families, and I appreciate that, too. But anyways, we got a great show for you today. Let's start off with some sponsors. Of course, we have Lorenzotti.coffee for all your delicious Italian coffee needs delivered directly to your door. Bring the taste of Italy home. Use BTC at checkout for a 10% discount. It's good coffee. Check it out. Seriously. I promise you it's good stuff. TopLobster.com, the man, the myth, the legend, my partner in Break the Cycle, where you get this great Don't Hurt People and Don't Take Their Stuff shirt that I'm wearing today, or this great custom Break the Cycle pillow that you can have on your couch while you watch awesome episodes of Break the Cycle with me. Use BTC at checkout for a 10% discount, or join the Patreon, the Subscribe Star, or become a member of this channel to get in the Discord where he drops new designs 2 weeks before they go to general population at a 30% discount. So you're talking cheap $27 hoodies, $15 shirts, good stuff, great quality for a really good price. Plus you're helping support Break the Cycle. You know, we're doing 5 shows a week now. We could really use the help. So thank you guys to those of you who have joined. And executive producers of the show, anthemplanning.com, for all your emergency and crisis planning needs. Check these people out. See what they can do for your business, your home, or your personal life. They're amazing. Libertarian-owned out of Delaware. Wonderful people doing a job that the government sucks at much more efficiently and much cheaper. Guys, we've got an awesome show for you today. Like I said, this gentleman's a good friend of mine. He's been a mentor to me. I've looked up to him for many, many years now. I've traveled all over the country and hung out with him. He is a former candidate for governor of New York and former candidate for vice president in the Libertarian Party. He is Mr. Larry Sharpe. How you doing tonight, sir?
How are you doing, my friend? I'm here. I made it. Yes, I did.
I appreciate that, Larry. I really do. Man, I usually bring people on and we talk about their journey. You know, I bring up the journey, how you got here, what you're doing, but we know that about you, Larry.
That's correct. That's boring. Don't do that. That's boring stuff.
We know that.
That's boring.
We know that you came in with Gary Johnson. We know you cashed that check, and we know you've run for vice president and governor of New York. We know that you have nonstop traveled around this country to try and further
and my
the
state.
cause,
don't forget my state.
And your state to try and further cause of liberty. But you got a book coming out, man.
I do, and people always think, well, that book's going to be on liberty. It's not. My book is a book on happiness. And you might say, why in the hell did you make a book on happiness, Larry? Because you know how I feel, Josh. I've told you more than once. Our movement is actually not about liberty and freedom. Our movement is actually about happiness. That's what it's about. The question is, how do you get there? You get there through freedom and through liberty, right? I see liberty and freedom as the means, not the end. The end is happiness, because in reality, there are some people who don't want to be free. And I don't mind if they're not free, as long as they don't bother me and let me be free. It's all good, right? If you decide that you want to, go hang out with the Amish or something, you know what? Good on you, man. No worries. Just let me be. And I think happiness is hardly discussed. It was in our divorce papers from the UK. It was life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. It was that important that it helped found our country, and we rarely talk about it. And that's why the book is on happiness. I'm talking about the 3 things that people need to be happy. One of them is they have to feel respected. Number 2, they have to feel loved. And number 3, they have to have purpose. And if you've got those 3, odds are really high you're going to be happy. That's what I talk about.
Sure. Sounds great. And, you and I have had tons of conversations around the country. I mean, Connecticut, Texas, just everywhere you can imagine. Larry and I have sat down, probably had lunch and talked about all kinds of things, not just my chair runs, not just his candidacies, just life in general. And one of the most consistent things that Larry always talked to me about was happiness and, what makes you happy? How are you going to be happy? And, a lot of people know my circumstances over the last year have changed drastically. I've gone from having no children in the house to having 7 children in the house, 2 of them my biological children. And that was something that Larry always said, well, what's going to make you happy? You got to do that. If it's your kids, do that. And it's one of the things that has made me very, very, very happy.
Happy people, don't protest because they're happy. Happy people build businesses. Happy people build families. Happy people don't take people's stuff. Happy people don't hurt others, right? There's an old saying, hurt people hurt. They do, right? If you're a hurt person, you hurt others. That's what people do. When you get hurt, you hurt others. But when you're happy, it bounces off. You know, you let it go. You just move on, man. And I know it sounds all, like, oh, Larry's going crazy. No, this is always where I've been.
Sure.
I just know that right now, the powers that be, whether they are the oligarchy of government or the oligarchy of large organizations, whatever they might be, their goal is not happiness. Their goal is to keep us unhappy as possible so we can keep fighting each other. And I'm trying to change that. And that's one of the reasons why I spend so much time in the Liberty Movement.
Sure. And you talked a little bit about that fighting each other thing. It's really funny. I don't know if you noticed, but the graphic for this show has you in a very specific stance. And prior, we had a prior guest on the show who had the same stance, but on the other side. His name was Nick Ashley, right? And you guys kind of got in this. It wasn't really a tiff. You were doing what Larry does, trying to make people happy and get people to stop fighting. And so we wanted to highlight the fact that Nick Ashley called Ricky Harrington a bitch, and you were like, do you really need to call him bitch though? I mean, isn't there some other way we could, so you both got
Yes.
the hands, the hands, and I thought it was pretty funny.
Yes.
And in fact, Nick Ashley's one of the custom emojis in the live chat, so Top Lops is throwing it up right now. It's the same thing, but yeah, man, what's up with?
I love it. That's when I step in, man. That's when I step in. There's a difference between the movement and the party. And most people disagree with me on this. They just disagree. But I think there's a difference. The movement is bigger than the party,
Sure.
right? Without the movement, there's no party. But without the party, the movement isn't as strong, right? The party's stronger with the movement than without it. But the party can't survive without the movement because most people, the party tends to get flooded and filled by the movement, not the reverse, right? Usually that's what happens. So when it comes to the party, candidates really matter. Candidates are the people who draw people in. You have a picture of Ron Paul behind you, right? Because that was a candidate that drew you in. Usually when it comes to the party, candidates are critical and activists are secondary. And when it comes to the movement, activists are critical and candidates are secondary. And we have to kind of think about how to maneuver that better. The problem is we don't maneuver that very well. So since I focus on the party, because I'm a candidate and I focus on the party, I focus on other candidates. And so I stepped in with Ricky Harrington because he's a good candidate for us. So I stepped in. And the problem is, of course, none of our candidates are perfect. I'm not. He's not. No one is. But I do want the candidates to feel like they're supported. And very often we fail at that. It's not one of our skill sets. We often feel like the candidate did something wrong, therefore let's punish, and the candidate feels, oh my God, I just made a mistake and now I gotta be devastated. And so I want to be the guy who says, no, you're not perfect, you screwed up, it's okay, we still love you. So yes, I'm the guy who tries to pet people. It's true. Guilty as charged.
Sure, and it's a good role to fill for you. I think you have one of those. I want to say peaceful voices, but it's actually, you got a very New York voice.
I do. Guilty as charged again. Yes.
But
Yes.
it's one of those. You're one of those. Those voices of reason. Who when you hear Larry's voice, you kind of just know, like, oh shit. It's like Dad's coming, right? I better calm down.
I like that.
I better calm down.
Like
Here comes that voice, right? But speaking of New York, man, it had to have been rough over the last year for you, huh?
Oh my God. It's rough for many reasons. The number one reason why it's rough is because, damn it, I was so right on everything. And it's as if the mainstream media does not care at all. I knew this was going to happen. I don't know if you know this, but literally on my Sharpe YouTube page, I put together a separate playlist that says COVID-19 response March 2020. Because I knew a year from then, people would go back and look at it and go, damn it, that guy was right on like everything. And literally I have 10 videos on what we could have, should have done last year in March, so like almost a year and a half ago. And man, I was right on everything. I told everybody how bad Cuomo was. I told them how bad my governor was. I told them what a misogynist he was. I told them what a bad guy he was. No one believed me. And all of a sudden now, 10 women are against him. He's killing old people. I mean, he's doing everything, right? He is doing everything that we told him. I said how he would do it. I said how he'd use executive power. And it's So that's the most frustrating piece is I expressed exactly who he was and what he would do, and I gave everyone an answer on what they could have done instead, which all of my policies always have two things in common. One, no force. Two, no more taxes. That's what I have. Now, some people go, you got to lower taxes, Larry. I live in New York State. Just keep that in mind when you're yelling at me about lowering taxes. Our budget went up about $30 billion during the COVID problem when over 1 million people left.
Right.
So you're telling me, well, Larry, you got to lower taxes. How about I just stop the bleeding? Let me just first patch the wound. Just let me have that happen. And I just gave him ways to solve the problems just without raising any more money. Can we just keep it where it is for today? And $30 billion more. Our budget in New York State is so high that only 20 countries and California have a larger budget. Jesus. Our budget is so high that Florida has more people and half our budget. Yeah, and no state income tax.
Yeah, New York's like the size of my basement, man. It's tiny.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
Well, I'm not going to go that far, but our smallest county is Manhattan.
Sure.
That's our smallest county, and the population density is 60,000 people per square mile.
That's insane. Insane.
Yes.
That's people on top of people. People on top of people.
Yes.
Everywhere you look.
Literally, if you're a UPS or FedEx truck driver in New York City, your entire route might be one building. Jesus. I'm not joking. That's a real thing. Your entire route is one building. You literally just pull your truck up, empty it, come back down, empty it, come back down. That's all you do. It's one building. That's your entire route.
That's wild. We got natural. I get a lot of cool super chats. I thank you guys for the super chats and always supporting the show. The naturalist capitalist Reed Coverdale, who's kind of stepped into the scene and tried to fill this unity spot, said Cuomo followed the 80-20 rule, Larry, and he killed 20% of the state and added 80% to the budget.
Well done, Cuomo. See, somebody's listening, Reed. Somebody's listening. I love it.
Well, and then. Yesterday he posted on Twitter that we really need to treat the gun crisis like we did COVID, and yes. I'm worried that he's going to start shooting senior citizens in the streets.
Well, the worst part is he's also said that gun violence is racist. So that means the guns are now racist. So those guns are only going to shoot black and Hispanic old people, which makes it even worse.
Oh, geez.
Even worse. Now, I told him last night, I was bringing this up on one of my shows, and I said, look, the answer is you got to give the guns diversity training, and this way they won't be racist. Now, if you give them CRT training, then not only will they not be racist, they'll be anti-racist and only shoot white people.
Right.
And then that's fine. So that's the plan that we need to have. But no one's listening to me.
Well, you could just send them to Coca-Cola or Starbucks for a weekend.
That would work also, yes. And the other thing is I think we got to figure out which guns are racist and which ones aren't.
Yeah.
Like, that's my problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and
we should ask Maj Toure, because black guns do matter.
Well, if we send them to CRT training, then the guns won't be able to do anything because of the white people.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah, I think that's how it works. In fact, the scary black guns will never be able to get ahead in life because of the white people, I think. I think that's how CRT works.
That's funny that you brought that up. That's a good deal. So let's do the CRT, then the guns can't shoot. Right. So that does solve our problem. Okay, yes. Either way, training is grifting training is the problem. Solution. I'm sorry, solution. Wow, there was a whole lot of slip-ups there.
That was great. Sorry. I love it. I love this Larry. This is my Larry right here. Nick Ashley actually dropped a super chat, a $5 super chat. Thanks, sir. He said, no hard feelings for Larry.
I love you guys. No, there was no hard feelings at all. No, I'm all good. We are too small of a group to be holding grudges. Just too small. And I need you guys, and you need me. We need each other. So, no, Nick, love you. All good.
There is one Nick that I will always hold a grudge against, though, Larry.
I don't. I know you do, and I don't either. No grudges. I need him too. No grudges.
Can we talk about this for 1 second, okay?
If he's watching, Nick, I love you too.
Nick doesn't watch this damn show. Dave Smith watches every episode, though. He told me.
Might. Nick might.
He's got like the dark shades on right now. He's like watching it with a record, like he's like screen recording. No, but let's talk about this real quick, because when I was running for chair in 2018, Nick and I were like foes. I mean, it was like a comic book, right? And Nick said something to you that I think it still sits with me to this day. He said, if Josh wins, that's the end of the Libertarian Party. Nuclear, right?
Mm-hmm.
That just blows my mind. And now all these people that said that about me are leaving the party. What do you think's going to happen, Larry?
But you didn't win. What happened?
I didn't have to win. It was never about me winning.
I guess you didn't have to.
It was never about me winning.
You were super powerful. You could trash shit without even winning. That's pretty good. I didn't know you were that tough. You were tougher than I thought. I love that. It's great. You trashed the joint and didn't even win. I love it.
Well, that was the whole point. You know, I came into the movement. I came into the party because I wanted to move the Overton window. I didn't like what I saw, and you know, I thought I had to win chair to accomplish that, but I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to. It was all about.
I knew that a long time ago, which is why I don't run for anything in the LNC, which is why, I mean, people got mad at me when I didn't take a side when the world was supposedly ending. Larry, take a side, take a side. No. Why did I take a side? Because I don't care.
Right.
Literally, and this is going to sound horrible. Everyone's going to be mad at me, but I don't care. If the LNC all of a sudden became a website that was one page that simply was a link to 50 states, I'd be fine. All I want from the LNC is one thing: ballot access.
Right.
That's it. Give me ballot access. I'm pretty happy. Whatever else the LNC does, okay, fine, whatever. It's all good. I don't mind, whatever. And look, did I want JBH to resign? No, I didn't. I did not want him to resign. And it wasn't because I loved or hated him. It wasn't because of that. I didn't want the instability. That's the reason. I wasn't a big fan of JBH or an enemy, either one. I was fine with him being chair. It didn't bother me either way. I didn't want the instability, which is why I didn't want him to drop. I didn't want the extra drama. I wanted the LNC to focus on the things that I care about, which is ballot access. That's what I cared about. What do I think will happen? I think a year from now we'll be back in action again like we always are.
True.
I think there'll be something that, you know, people will get upset or mad. Some will leave, some will come back. Some will talk about other parties and stuff, as they always do. And I think in the long run, next year we'll be back together again. And 2 years from now, we'll be trying to find a presidential candidate to, you know, hopefully make something happen. So I know some people don't like it and they get mad at me, but it doesn't matter. That's how I feel.
Something tells me that the presidential candidate may end up being from New York in the next election. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Who's running for president from New York?
I don't know. Some skinny comedian out there keeps.
Guy's from Jersey.
Is he from Jersey?
That guy's from Jersey. No. He already abandoned me. That dude's abandoned me already. He's a Jersey guy.
Wait, you're talking.
He already abandoned me.
You're talking about Dave Smith, right?
That guy abandoned me already.
I didn't know he went to Jersey.
You gotta come back.
Oh, okay.
You're a Jersey dude now.
Okay, I see he went to Jersey. That's funny because I just had Lou Perez on, who just abandoned you too and went to Jersey. So
I know they're all abandoning me. I know. Why do you think I'm trying to fix my state? I gotta be. I'm teasing, Dave. I get it. I know why people leave my state. I get it. I hate it because I have less people who can support me and support anything. This is why when things were going badly for Cuomo, everyone was like, "Oh my God, Cuomo's finished." I'm like, "No, he's not." Anybody who would vote against him is leaving my state. The only people who are staying are people who support him. We lost 1.5 million people in 10 years, gone off my state. So they're all leaving. Look, I'm not mad at Dave Smith. I mean, I get it. Do I wish he had stayed? Of course. I want everyone to stay and be punished with me, right? I want you all to feel my punishment.
Misery loves company.
That's correct. You should all be miserable with me. Exactly. But no, I get it. New York is a tough spot. It's a tough place to live. But I want to be very forward for everyone who's watching. It is still an amazing place to visit.
Sure.
It is still an amazing place to visit. Once we finally get rid of everyone wearing masks and lockdowns, please come. It's a great place to visit. History, beauty, cities, out hiking, skis, whatever you like. Please come visit. You probably don't want to live here, though. I get it.
Yeah. That's you know, I moved to Iowa, Larry. Mm-hmm. I left California 5 minutes before they started the 24-hour lockdown.
Smart move.
Tucked tail and took off to the middle of the country. I've never been happier. I haven't seen a mask in weeks.
Yes, I know. My wife's trying to get us to move to Tennessee, believe it or not.
That's a great place.
It was originally Texas, then it was maybe Florida, then maybe Georgia, now it's maybe Tennessee. I thought originally years ago before I ran for governor, I was thinking North Carolina.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I'm
trying to hold on here.
You know what's funny about that is so many people from New York moved to Florida.
Yep.
And look at what Florida's doing right now compared to what New York's doing right now. And it's because all the people that were fed up with New York moved to Florida.
That's my point, right? That's exactly my point. Yes. I mean, I don't know if you realize this. In New York City, how bad it is. New York City is about 75% Democrat.
It's wild.
Yeah, 75%. Yes. It's something across New York City. I think it's 6-1 registered Democrats to Republicans. Then you have to add independents or whatever the case may be, but it's 6-1. That's how bad it is. It's really an issue.
That's insane.
We're a one-party state.
Yeah. Well, and upstate is where like most of the Republicans live too.
Correct. Yes, but they're moving.
Yeah, they're all leaving.
Right. I mentioned this again about a year ago. I was talking about how New York State's going to become so bad after the lockdowns that people are literally just going to get up and leave their homes, pack up and go. They're just going to, not pay their rent or their mortgage, get in their car and go. People are going to be walking by and realizing they haven't mowed their lawn in like 3 weeks. Are they still there? And now on the New York State official website, it is a thing called zombie houses.
Just people.
That is how common that is.
Wow.
Zombie houses. They just pack up and leave. Don't care about the lease. Don't care about the mortgage. See you in court. I'm going to Arizona. Done. That's what's happening.
Well, if you go to Tennessee, you're going to have a serious fight for ballot access there, Larry.
Well, if anybody could do it, it's me, so it's fine.
It's like the hardest state. That one in Alabama. I mean, those are like our hardest states in the country. So it's
there we go. So maybe Tennessee's calling me. Maybe we'll see.
Nashville is my favorite big city that I've been to around the country.
I was actually thinking of moving outside of Chattanooga.
That'd be cool too. Yeah, Tennessee is just amazing. I really, I visited 40 states over the last 4 years. So I think I've been to 46 or 47 states now in the whole country. And out of all of them, my favorite place still is Nashville, Tennessee. There's no doubt about it.
Wow, I love that. I love that.
It was amazing. But I was also there on St. Patrick's Day, and I had just gone through a breakup, and it was a lot of fun. Prior to COVID, and Broadway in downtown Nashville is like 2 miles of just 3-story bars and nightclubs and restaurants, and they got bands playing on every floor, and they got rooftop bars everywhere you go, and it's just a really cool vibe. I mean, there's music everywhere, and I'm a big music guy, so I really enjoyed it. Top Lobster says, me and my entire family voted for you, Larry. The last year didn't have to be this way. Also, you talk with Nick. He's a very smart Turkish fellow. We always speculate as to what race Mr. Nick is. So John Chow says, love Larry, got the ballot line till we got Cuomo'd.
Yep.
John Chow also says Larry did lives on Star Trek and shrooms in 1 week.
That is true. Yes. That is true. Yes. I pick a lot of odd subjects. In fact, I just did a show before I came on here at 6 p.m. Eastern, and it was on women drinking too much because of COVID and the collapses and such. And it was a red table talk. They had a reaction video to it. So I pick all kind of topics. It doesn't really matter what it is. And the idea is I want people to understand that culture also matters, right? Politics matters, of course. So does culture. And no matter what, we are all people. And if we just start caring more about each other, things will get better in general.
Sure, yeah.
And we're all human.
I agree with the culture thing. I think, if we're ever going to change politics, we got to change culture. And
100%.
I want more people making comic books. I want more people doing bands like Backwards or any kind of band, country band, anything.
Yes.
I want more people making more Liberty movies and documentaries, and we should.
My daughter still has an Eric July sticker where he's like Superman.
Oh yeah,
Remember that sticker? That she still has it on her wall.
That's his logo for his show, man.
No, his show's logo. He's like this or something, right?
Is he different?
He's different. This is from the Backwards, the album days. He had a special. If you ordered the special package, I actually got an actual CD. Yeah. If you order the actual CD, then you get the sticker. I'm an old man, so I still get CDs. So we had
What a boomer
sticker. I know, boomer. So there was a little sticker there where he's like flying with his fist up. My daughter still has it on her board.
That's yeah. Actually, Eric July's YouTube channel is the only YouTube channel that I'm a monthly donating member of. So
there we go. Nice. Very
good. He
good.
does so many member-only streams, and I love watching Eric. And it's funny because I keep trying to get Eric to come on my show, and he
won't come on mine either.
He's big time in me, man.
I know, he's doing the same with me. It makes me, because I want to talk to him about his tokenization idea.
Right.
I think it's a very interesting way in looking at things, but he won't come on the show to talk about it. So he's too cool for us, I guess. See?
Yeah, he's big time in me, man. He's
too cool.
He did just start following me a couple weeks ago, though. So I was like, oh, and I immediately DM'd him, and then no response. I'm like, seriously? and then Rob Schneider started following me today. I've been I've been emailing him like crazy. And we'll see how that goes. We may have a Rob Schneider episode in the future, so stay tuned. That would be a lot of fun. Stilts 40, is it? I always met this one up. Stitz 40 or Stitz 4 says, Larry, I love everyone except Dave. He's dead to me. My mom's in every live chat, by the way, Larry, Cheryl, and she says even I don't get CDs anymore.
Yeah, I know. But that was before. I don't have any now. Actually, this is the weirdest thing. As I was talking the other day about the idea of how so many people are renters. And I was talking about the mentality of that, right? The ownership mentality that we're often losing, an ownership mentality. And I want us to have an ownership mentality, even if you have a renter's lifestyle. Renter's lifestyle gives you freedom, right? I don't have to worry about owning. I can just lease. I can change. I can move around, whatever the case may be. And I get that lifestyle. The problem is now we're taking the renter's lifestyle and then having a renter's mindset.
True.
We still have to have an ownership mindset. And that's a critical piece that I think we have to have. And I feel like one of the people who I was talking to about this, I did it in a green room, Spotify green room. I did a Spotify green room yesterday. I was about the idea that many people believe that the older I get, the less things I own that I use or that make me happy. And I found that same thing with me. I used to have a massive collection of CDs, probably 300 or more, tons of them. I literally threw them all out, just in the garbage. I had no use for them. Anything I want is going to be either on Spotify or Pandora or whatever is the cool, or just YouTube, whatever I want's always there. So I just threw them all out. I went through my library and I threw out over half of my books. I don't go through them anymore. Like I read them once and I'm done. I threw so many things. The only books I keep are the ones that I go through, again and again and again. I've thrown out a lot of stuff in these last 5 or 10 years. I think I'm falling into that same idea of it's better to be lean and mean and rent more than to have more. But I just hope I don't turn into a renter mentality.
Sure. I think we're moving into an era where that lean and mean thing's okay. We have so many services, streaming services for music, you can have your groceries delivered to your house these days, right? At the click of a button, Larry.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
And I'm sure that's a pretty big thing in New York.
Oh my God, it's huge. Are you nuts? Huge. It used to be my wife had to actually pick up the phone to order the food. Now she just presses a button on Seamless or whatever, phone or whatever, it's done. And they even have what you ordered last. So if you want the same thing from that restaurant, you just basically click one button and boop, it comes. It's amazing. Yes. Absolutely.
Drywall.
And less people have cars.
Yeah. I'm sure in New York it's almost pointless to drive at this point, I'd imagine. A
lot of people don't have cars. In fact, when COVID first hit, I was doing a lot of work because I have a car. And a lot of New Yorkers don't have cars. So people didn't want to leave their homes. So I have two people in my life who are over 80 and who have pre-existing conditions. So those people I was very concerned about for COVID. That's literally the people that COVID kills, right? That's a serious worry for those two people in my life. So they didn't want to leave the house. I get it. No worries. I would drive and drop off stuff for them. I'd mask up and glove up to drop stuff off for them and put like a can of Lysol on top or whatever. And I was doing that for the first couple of months until everything kind of kicked into where they were able to handle on their own. But now I hardly ever drive.
Larry, I got to know, what do you drive, man?
Whatever my wife wants, she drives far more than I do. We have a Ford Escort. No, not Ford Escort, a Ford Edge.
Oh, Ford Edge.
We have a Ford Edge now. My car before that was a Volkswagen, and my car before that was a Honda, and then before that was I don't even remember.
I don't know why you struck me as a Mercedes guy, man. I don't know. You got me.
No. I'm not. I don't show off at all, dude. I never show off. Have you ever seen me be flashy?
No, not really. But it's not. It wasn't like a flash. I didn't think that for flashy reasons, Larry.
I grew up in the ghetto. I know better than to flex.
Sure.
I grew up in the South Bronx. I don't flex.
I grew up in the hood too, buddy. I know all about it.
Yes.
Definitely. Projects till I was like 10, and then the white tweaker ghetto until I was moved out of the house, pretty much. So
there we go. You only flex if you got a crew.
Yeah. My first car was
don't flex.
My first car was a 1980 Honda Civic hatchback wagon that we bought from the St. Vincent de Paul Society for like $110, and I think it lasted me 10 days or something like that. But it fit my 4-foot bong, so that's all that really mattered. You know what I mean?
That's what matters. You got to know what matters to you, man. That's it. That's all that matters.
Shout out to Drywall O for the $10 super chat, brother. I appreciate you. So, man, tell me what's going on with the show. How's the Sharpe way going?
I get shadow banned every week, so I wouldn't know. I'm shadow banned like there's no tomorrow. Constantly being shadow banned. It's insane how bad it is. I guess I'm an extremist. I don't know, but I guess I am. So often shadow banned. I've grown the show all over the place to the best of my ability. I have guests on here or there, but I actually do 3 shows. I do the Sharpe Way, which is almost every night at 7 or sometimes 6 or 8, but in the area of 7 every night. And that rarely has libertarians on it. That's usually other people. I spend a lot of my time talking to the left, right? We don't do a very good job as a group talking to the left very well. We tend to become very aggressive, and we lack patience because, when dealing with the right, if they're mad at us or upset at us, they tend to come at us, right? You're not American, or you don't care about, God, country, and, the flag. They come at us that way, but they come at us. When the left comes at us, they don't. They actually dismiss us. They're disrespectful and dismissive, and they don't talk to us. They literally just ignore us. And I found that when I was running for governor, too. The right, when it was mad, would come at me. The left would just ignore me completely. Recently, I've been trying to find ways of getting the left to talk to me, because I don't want to fight the right. I don't want to fight the left. I want to bring them all to us. I want to bring every one of them to us. I am greedy. I want 7 billion libertarians, right? And I can't get that if I don't convert. And I can't convert if I don't get them to talk to me. So I've been trying hard to talk to the left. So my show has been a lot about bringing on people who are statist, who are left-leaning, who are that way, and having an open conversation. I do it for 2 reasons. One, because we often find that those people, while they are left or whatever the case may be, they find some common ground in me, and they decide, you know what? I guess, Larry, you're one of the good ones. I get that often. And if I can be one of the good ones, so can some other candidate, because their candidates are going to disappoint them, because they always do.
Sure.
And when they disappoint them, I'm hoping they'll go, let me try these libertarians. Let me see if I can walk into that road, because the best people who know how to convert the left are those who come from the left. So I try to bring more of them in. That's the second piece. I want libertarians to understand that there's a lot of people in this country who really love government, who really love government, love it. Of course you would want the government to tell me everything to do. Who else would? So, and we need to see that, because we spend so much time amongst ourselves, we can't imagine that there are that many people who actually think that the government monopoly is a good thing. And I would say I live in New York City. Lots of people think a government monopoly is a really good thing. And for us to see that, and to also understand they're still human beings, and that the average American actually doesn't care about liberty or tyranny or anything. All they want is their problem solved. And if you could get them with a free solution, they would take it. If you would give it with a solution that is full of coercion, as long as they're not personally hurt, they would take it. And they're totally fine punishing whoever the other is. And each side picks their other, and then you punish the other, and they get what they want. And we have to know that's what we're up against. The example I give often, people get mad at me all the time when I talk about auditing the Fed. Oh, libertarians get so mad. You got to end the Fed. So mad at me. Well, I tell this story often. I was teaching, and I did a lot of teaching before my governor, my Lord and Master, His Majesty King Andrew Cuomo II, oh, hail the king, before he deemed me not essential, I used to do a lot of teaching. And one of the things I would do is I would teach leadership to a lot of city agencies. And I'm with one of the agencies, and you can imagine this room. It's about 25, 30 people in the room, male, female mix. The youngest is maybe 30. The oldest is maybe 60. They're all educated and all credentialed. And I never talk about, politics when I'm in the classroom, unless it's during a break or they ask about it. It's that kind of thing. So it's during one of the breaks, and I'm up at the front, and one of the guys are talking, and one of the guys says, I'm so glad that we have the Fed because they saved us during the crash. He says that and looks at me. And I said, you looking at me? He's like, well, Larry, you're the political guy. You know that, right? And I said, the Fed is basically just a bank. It's a private bank. We'll do a cartel.
Wait, I'm contractually obligated to do this. Private bank. Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
I got the quotations out of the way. Now, go, please.
Great. So I said, it's basically like a cartel. It's basically what it is, right? And all of them, no. Not one person agreed with me. I said, you got your phones? Google it. So they start to Google, and all of a sudden you hear, what? Oh my God, he's right. Yeah. The Fed just magically makes money that puts us into debt, right? It just makes it when it wants to and puts us into debt, right? It just puts money into the economy when it feels like it. No. I was just right. Check it again. They go in. Oh my God, he's right. Why do I tell that story? Because most Americans don't understand what the Fed is. They have no idea. I actually had someone tell me this. Larry, we don't need a central bank. We don't do central bank. We have the Fed. Thinking it's totally different. Thinking it's completely different. Not getting it at all. There is an ignorance level throughout America that is massive. And one of my personal goals is to get people who are that ignorant to talk to us. To just talk to us. Just have an open conversation and talk to us. I know where my lane is. That's my lane. And I try to stay in the lane that I'm good at. And that's my lane.
Sure. Absolutely. Someone in the chat, one of the channel members, thank you, Jamie, we appreciate you. He said, can you talk about education? I started following you after hearing you speak on ed. You went on Joe Rogan. Didn't you go on Joe Rogan?
I did.
Man.
I did.
And you tried to explain education to him. I remember that.
That was, what? I'm gonna take responsibility for that. That was my fault. And the reason why it was my fault was I was doing a campaign. During the campaign, when I ran, for those of you who don't know, when I ran for a year and a half. I didn't have a job. I didn't get a salary for a year and a half. I just ran, nothing else. I was doing over 30 events every single month. I was crossing the state every single month. So I literally one day had to fly into LA. He was still in LA at that time. He hadn't moved to Texas yet. So I had to fly into LA that morning, go on his show, and fly home that night because I had events.
Oh, jeez.
So I'd spent all my time in New York. So then I fly to California. I get there to the studio. He comes in last minute, opens the door. Sharpe here? I said, yeah, I'm here. He's like, great. Walks in, start the show. The first thing he says is, I like you. That's how he starts. That's the first words he ever said to me.
Wow.
That was the show. So we start. Now, the problem that we had is he was saying things like, well, I'm worried about teachers and unions and stuff.
Of course.
And in my head, spending all my time in New York, it's not an issue, right? New York, our teachers' unions are very strong. Our teachers are fine. In many parts of the country, teachers are hammered and treated poorly. In New York State, for those who don't know, the average teacher's salary in New York State is $80,000 a year. They're fine. They're fine. They're not getting hammered. They're fine. Teachers union, very strong. No worries. He was like, well, what about the teachers? I'm like, what? That's why I kept saying things like, what are you not getting? Like, it's impossible. But as I look back later, if we were in, say, Kansas, what he would have been saying would have made sense, right? But in New York, I was so busy talking to New Yorkers that it didn't make any sense what he was saying to me. Like, how could you think our teachers are going to be in trouble? They're fine in my state. There's no worries in New York. And that's the average, by the way. There are administrators in New York State who make $400,000 a year.
Jesus.
I'm not joking. They make $400K. You can
That's
do your own homework if you want to look it up.
That's insane.
My state, you're fine. We're good. We spend $29,000 per kid in New York State.
Wow.
There are parts of New York State where there are more administrators than there are teachers. Yeah, we're fine. Unions are good. Teachers are fine. That's why I'm saying I just want to stop the bleeding in my state.
Right.
Just let me stop the bleeding. Then we'll move on from there. But anyway, that's why that didn't go as well as it could have, because I should have understood where his head was, and I just didn't.
Well, I think everybody was talking past each other a little bit, and that's what was happening. Segment.
That's exactly what happened. But then we went on and had a good conversation after that. We talked a lot of positive things. It went very well. And the funny part is, I went on several different shows, and when it came to growth online, hands down, Joe Rogan was the most popular thing for me. My YouTube channel probably grew 10,000 in 1 week.
Wow.
From that. I mean, that was a massive push up for me. I probably already had about 15,000 already on when I went there. And then I had 10,000, I had like 25,000 within a week from going there. Now I've got about 35,000, but that was all, afterwards. His was a massive bump. His bump was probably 30%, 25% of my YouTube channel now is probably just from Joe Rogan. That's how popular that was. But I got to tell you, from a dollar point of view, donations wasn't the top.
No.
Top was Dave Rubin.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yes, Dave Rubin, when I went on his show, while the number of views wasn't anywhere near as powerful as Joe Rogan's, and the increase in social media presence wasn't as large, donations were clearly not even close. The best. The best. Without question.
I've been thinking about starting like an alien institute, so Joe Rogan will have me on or something stupid like that. You know what I mean? I
got to tell you what most politicians, most candidates, Libertarian Party don't get. What actually gets you on the non-libertarian stuff is not rhetoric. It's policy. The reason why I got in those shows is because of my policy. Sure. Joe Rogan loved my bridge idea. He loved my MTA idea. He liked my school educate. What your guy told me about education is my education plan is no longer K through 12. It's K through 10. Right? And it's ending all standardized testing until high school. You've got kids, they force those tests on you like there's no tomorrow. You got to have the test. The kids get extra stress for no reason. And testing is absolutely no indicator of success for kids when they get older at all. You could be totally successful or totally a failure. It does not matter. Your testing's irrelevant. It does not show that at all. All it does is once you take the test, you get labeled. And if you're not a good test taker as a little kid, you are labeled the dumb kid. And if you're labeled a dumb kid, you act accordingly and it affects your entire life.
Sure.
So I would rather us not do that and instead let kids move forward. At 10th grade, when they graduate, when they're done, take a test. You pass your test, you get your high school diploma, and now you get to keep going into whatever you want to go. Now, in New York State, there's a specific rule. In New York State, education's a right. It's in our Constitution. So we have to pay for everyone's education from grades 1 through 12 in my state. Mandatory. Not kindergarten. That's a special bill we do every single year to make sure we spend money on that too. But 1 through 12 is in our Constitution. So what I said is we're going to do it like when I was in the Marine Corps. When you got out of the service, you get your GI Bill, right? You get your X dollars. You can use it in certain weeks. When I was in, I think it was $200K or something for like 10 years or whatever it was. I forgot what the number was. But I'm saying we're going to give each kid $20,000 in his account. He can do any education he wants. 2-year schools will pop up everywhere. We're gonna have private schools. We're gonna have trade schools. We're gonna have prep schools. We're gonna have all types of schools. They're gonna pop up. And guess how much those schools are gonna cost for 2 years? $20,000. Why? Because that's the government money. Because schools love government money and banks love guaranteed government money, so they'll give loans to build the schools. So boom, that's what happens. You might say, well, Larry, you're having the government pay. I'm actually not, because right now, as I told you, we spend about $29,000 per kid per year. Well, in this case, we're only spending 10 per year. So we just saved 19 grand per kid. Plus, lots of kids aren't even going to go. True. We're going to save about $6 to $8 billion just on that, because our budget for education is over $60 billion. That's more than the budgets of most states. So that will immediately cut that out. Why does that matter? Because we only get about $6 billion from the federal government. So if we can save $8 billion, we can get rid of all the federal strings attached and take no federal money. That's how that system works well. It allows kids to do what they want, but also I just by default privatize 2 years of school.
Right.
Not just that. I don't want our schooling to be paid for by local taxes. Instead, she comes directly from the government. Now, right now, our budget is so broken, we're going to have about a $50 billion deficit directly from the government. And I'm saying something radical now, Josh. You're going to hear it. Cryptocurrency. I want an education coin for New York. It's the NYEC, the New York Education Coin. So you might say, well, Larry, you can't use a coin like that because no one's going to want to buy it or use it. How do you get usage? Well, we are a huge, massive school district. You want school district money? You're a grifter? There's many of them out there. You can grift, but you got to grift on NYEC. So now what do? Why would anyone back it? Because I allow the banks to transfer NYEC into dollars for a small transaction fee. What do banks love? Small transaction fees. So they will absolutely take that. And this way teachers still get paid in dollars. Everyone gets paid in dollars. But more importantly, once I do that, each district simply gets a flat fee per kid. What does that mean? It means the kid can move to different districts. And what does it get? Oh, guess what? The dollars follow the kid.
Sure.
So I just allow school choice without having to say school choice. It allows for a school choice option. But more importantly, if I'm paying directly from the state, I can end the school tax. School tax for most people in New York State is about half of their property tax.
Jesus.
I just cut property tax in half. So I cut property tax in half. I allow for school choice. I privatize 2 years of school and still maintain our Constitution. That's the types of policies we should be talking about that can get people to care about, our movement. I can't just say abolish government schools. Now, if I'm an activist, I absolutely can say that and probably should to get people to care about the issue. It makes total sense. As a candidate, I've got to be able to give people an answer so they can feel like their kids are going to be taken care of. And so I give them one that saves the state billions, doesn't increase taxes, in fact, lowers property tax and allows for school choice and privatizes 2 years of school.
Sure. So are you running against Cuomo again or what?
I'm trying to find people to support me. And to be forward with you, it's nowhere near as big as I thought it would be.
Sure.
I thought more people want to get behind me. I don't want to run to not make impact.
Right.
I want to run and I want to make impact. And I'm not seeing a groundswell at all. And it's disappointing. I thought I'd find more people like ready to go. People are like, yeah, I guess. I think so many people in New York State feel like there's no hope. And I think that's disappointing. I'm trying to get more people to get. I'm going to be at Freedom Fest coming up here. I'm going to have a booth here. I'll be speaking in a couple panels. A boomer panel, of course. I'll be speaking at the boomer panel. So yeah,
you guys gonna be talking about eight-track tapes or
eight-track tapes,
Betamax,
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Back in my day, I'll be talking about that a lot. So yes, I'll be doing that. So I'll see if I can get some more backing at Freedom Fest with some more packs and see. And if I can get enough backing, I'll do it. I would like to do it, but I don't want to do it the way I did it last time. I've got to be able to raise good money. And how New York State works, for a lot of you guys who are listening who don't know, New York State's odd. We have what's called fusion voting. I know some of you don't know New York are like, this is a crazy state. It is, yes. Fusion voting means you can run on more than one line. So I can literally run as a libertarian, as a Republican, as a conservative, as independent, as whatever I want. I can't get Democratic line because Cuomo will take that. But I can be a registered libertarian, get the libertarian nomination, and run in the Republican primary.
Right.
I can do that in New York State. And I'm actually considering it. And the reason why I'm considering it is, in my state, I have Giuliani's son running. I have Trump's attorney running.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes. Yep.
Wow.
I have Trump's attorney, Giuliani's son, some guy who ran before, and some sheriff running all Republican line. They'll all split the vote, and I'll win.
Who's the one that's run before?
Astorino.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he ran before Molinaro ran.
Right.
So, yeah.
No
So,
Molinaro this time?
No, not this time.
That's
Not this
unfortunate. The drama was so much fun.
But he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
You know, actually, I like Astorino too. Astorino's not a bad guy. I like Astorino. But you know, it's whatever. The point being that I'm actually considering it because I could probably win that, which means I would have the libertarian line I'd be listed 3 times. Listed Libertarian, listed Republican. And then if I got those two, the conservative line would probably give me a conservative line too. I might get the independent line. There's no reform in my state.
None.
They're not in my state.
I thought you had it last time.
No, they lost. I told him last time, Curtis Sliwa was in the Reform Party, and I told him to put me on his line and I'll get him 50,000 votes. He said no and lost ballot access. He's regretting that right now.
I bet he is. Because you would have got him the votes. Right. You would have got him the votes he needed. No doubt.
Absolutely. Yep. But he didn't listen. What are you going to do?
Huh.
So
maybe
yes, I hope that's a good enough answer.
Yeah, that is absolutely. So Larry, we're getting close to the end of the public stream. We're gonna do an exclusive stream after this for 20 minutes or so, like our normal exclusive stream. So if you guys want to be a part of that live, you have to join the channel membership underneath this video. There's a join button. It's like $6 a month. You get like all the custom emojis you've seen tonight, all these really cool Break the Cycle badges that you're seeing in the live chat. Those are all channel members. They change colors as the length of time you're a member of the channel goes on, and you get exclusive stuff. You can also do that by joining Patreon or Subscribestar. You just get that content the next day uploaded. But Larry, what is next for you besides the possible gubernatorial run?
Well, look, I am concerned that we need to be more popular. That's my biggest thing. One of the reasons why you see me going on so many podcasts, doing shows, doing my own show, doing the debates. I debated. I call discussion. They call it debate. I had a discussion with the YouTuber Vosh, the YouTuber Destiny, and the YouTuber Dylan Burns. I want to be more popular because popularity matters. That's important. And I want to be able to make sure that we make some impact in 2022 with me if possible or somebody else, but we have to make impact. We took big setbacks in 2020. 2020 was not a good year for us. And we have to make it up. I want to make it up in 2022 and 2024. And the more popular I am, the more ability I'll have to have influence on who those candidates are and to raise money for them, which is the biggest issue. You know that. We got to raise money. I'm good at raising money. The more popular I am, the more money I can raise. And that's an important piece to me. My focus is getting better candidates, raising more money, being more popular, and having more people looking towards us. My worry is, and it's going to sound a little bit doom and gloom, I guess, but I'll say it anyway. I don't see the country right now going any place except towards violence. I don't see us doing anything except going that route. And I believe in my heart that the only answer is the liberty movement. We're the only people who can cross the aisle and talk to both. We're the only people who can be the healers. We're the only people who just go, if you're mad, just stay over there, right? And you're mad, just stay there and we won't bother you. We're the only ones who do that. Everyone else is like, no, you will be exactly like us or we'll punish you. We're the ones who don't do that. And I think because of that, we have an opportunity in 2024. In 2016, I had a 10-year plan. And 2026 ends my 10-year plan. And the goal at the end of 2026 was to have at least somebody at the federal level representing the Libertarian Party. If we make that, I win. If we don't, my plan failed. So I'm trying to make my plan a success. I want someone representing us that won an election, not just a changed over. I like the changeovers. Those are good. Please keep changing over. Those are great. I'd like us to win an actual federal election, whether that's, be great if it was president in 2020. Would be amazing, but I'm not counting on it. I hope it happens. But I would take a Senate seat. I would take a congressional seat, anything. I'd take a nominated judge, just something that would have us there at the federal level.
Larry, we're going to shitpost Dave Smith and Maj Touré into the White House in 2024, so.
There we go. I'll take it. Absolutely. 100%. As long as I get to be communications director or secretary of state, I'm in.
Okay, fair.
One of those two.
We're going to find a cabinet position for you, buddy. I'm sure of it.
One of those two, I'm good.
Larry, brother, I love you to death. You've been a great friend to me. And like I said, a mentor. I wouldn't be half the person I am in this movement today if it wasn't for you. But can you tell these people that are watching right now where they can find you, support you, and follow you at?
Head on over to the Sharpe way on all the interwebs. Isn't that what you boomers say? No, on the Twitter, Aren't you TikTokers? No, yes, but I actually have a TikTok. I actually have an Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. I got everything that's Sharpe Way. Please like all of them, because the more you like, even if you don't watch my stuff, you should watch my stuff. But even if you don't watch my stuff, the more likes and shares I have, I can get around those algorithms and try to get around the shadow banning. So please like all the Sharpe Way stuff. And remember, it's Sharpe with an E, and the E stands for entertaining.
Nice. Are you still with Gas Digital? Are you still doing that?
No, I was renting space there until, again, they shut everything down.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So
I figured.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Larry, I appreciate you. I'll see you here in just a couple minutes for the exclusive stream.
All righty, my friend.
All right, brother. All right, guys. Another awesome episode. Man, I love Larry to death. He's really we got to be very close and learned a lot of personal stuff about the guy. He is one of the coolest men I've known. He's kind of been like my Jordan Peterson, if that makes any sense to you guys. Taught me a lot on the road, how to be a better person, not just a better candidate for office. And it means a lot to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to my kids at this point as well too. Guys, if you want to go to see the exclusive streams, all you have to do is go to right underneath any of my videos, there's a subscribe button. Next to the subscribe button, there's a join button. If you hit join there, if you're signed into your Google account, it will make you a member of the channel for, I think it's $5.99 a month. You get all the really cool custom emojis that have been hand-drawn by Top Lobster for all of our live chats that are super, super cool. You also get the custom badges next to your name so people know how long you've been a member. Eventually, when you make it to a year, you get the gold B. That's going to be the coveted one. We already got some blue ones, which means people have already been members for more than a month. So thank you guys so much for that. Or you can join the Patreon or Subscribe Star. Both of them are / Break the Cycle JS. You get some other swag there. All three things will get you into my private Discord server, which has like 70 people in it or more now, which is pretty awesome. The only difference is you get the exclusive content uploaded the next morning. By the afternoon, usually I get it up. So you don't get to watch it live, but you do get to see it still. But you get all the other perks and cool stuff too. Check out our sponsors, Lorenzotti.coffee, for all your delicious Italian coffee needs, delivered directly to your door. Bring the taste of Italy home. Use BTC at checkout for a 10% discount. And, of course, my friend, my partner, one of the coolest guys I know, toplobster.com for all your wonderful graphic design needs. This man has everything on his website. We just dumped a whole bunch of new Break the Cycle stuff, including a bunch of the cool emojis you see here, like the Wood Chipper Go Burr shirt that is going to be the #1 seller, I'm sure. You get a 10% discount for using BTC at checkout. Or if you join the Patreon or Subscribe Star and you get into the Discord, like I said in the beginning, he drops the designs 2 weeks before they go to the general population at 30% discount. So you're really, if you're doing like the $5 to $10 a month one, you're really, if you buy something from Top Lobster, it pays for itself. And of course, executive producers, anthemplanning.com for all your emergency and crisis planning needs. Check them out today. See what they can do for your home, your personal life, or your business. They're doing God's work. I'm telling you. See what they can do for you. I promise you will not be disappointed. Guys, do me a favor when you leave here. If you're not coming to the exclusive streams, go to Twitter. Tag Sour Patch LYDS and tell Lids that she needs to bring Joshua Smith on the Tim Pool Show. Please do that for me. We got to get on Tim Pool Show. It's very important to the algorithm here. I know it'll do good things for us, but I want to go talk with Tim. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Guys, I appreciate you coming up on the show. Next week is going to be insane. On Monday, my good friend Stephen Nikela, the Florida Libertarian Party chair and region rep for the LNC. He's amazing. They call him the Egyptian Nazi, hence the cool graphic we got here with the Egyptian headdress and the tiki torch. He's cool. It's going to be a fun show. Guy's all into tech, owns a bunch of Wendy's and shit. It's going to be a lot of fun. Tuesday, we have the ultimate heavyweight, Stefan Kinsella, coming on. We're going to talk about IP and all things internet trolling. I love Stefan a lot. It's going to be a good show. He's amazing. I don't know if you guys have ever seen him speak, but he's a lot of fun. Wednesday, the man, the myth, the legend, Tom Woods will be on the show, the very failed podcaster. He's going to come by and talk about his love for Hawaiian shirts, I'm sure. Thursday, I'm going to have Brad Palumbo on. It's going to be a lot of fun. I got some serious questions for him. And Friday, Mr. Austin Peterson will be on the show to talk about all kinds of liberty stuff, liberty Republicans, and etc. Guys, it's going to be a cool week. I will see you Monday if I don't see you in the exclusive streams. But until then, don't forget to break the cycle.
Due to legal reasons, I just have to explain. The lyrics of my last song may seem to contain a violent call to action in the verse and refrain, but I just meant it in Minecraft. The helicopter part was in reference to GTA 5 and the things you do. So any violence you commit, I am not an excuse, because I just meant it in Minecraft. Well, Chipper is my friend and he's constantly cold. Accusations of incitement getting totally old. Make your own choices, yeah, you have control, because I just meant it in Minecraft. Obviously I would never advocate force, unless there's due process and a trial, of course. And if you're convicted, we will make you a corpse in Minecraft, just in Minecraft. You're nothing I mean, you know it. No trying to finish cause you're closed for COVID. Holy shit, I think I'm a poet.